Alright guys, well today's video is going to be slightly different. We're going to talk about how we preserve the patina on Termite. So if you've got an older vehicle and you like the patina on it and you want to keep that patina, there's a lot of stuff out there nowadays because that's become a really popular thing. So there's a lot of good products out there that will help you do that. Some of the stuff that a lot of people do is they'll just clear coat the whole vehicle. You can do this with a satin clear or a gloss clear. I'm not a big fan of glossy clear coats over patina stuff because it doesn't look natural. When we first got Termite, I almost did a satin clear coat because I have plenty of that stuff in my shop from car paint jobs and stuff like that I've done. But I just didn't want to make it that permanent in case we wanted to go a different direction one day or something. I wanted to try to find something that was a little less permanent. I know some people just wax over their patina stuff and just let the wax be there to preserve. Some people take Floetrol, which is a conditioner that you mix into your paint. It's either Floetrol or Penetrol. One's for oil-based and one's for latex, but it's a paint conditioner that you mix into paints to take away roller marks or brush marks or something like that. But it's clear, and a lot of people just put that on there. That works, but it still gives you a little bit glossier of a shine. It's not as glossy as a gloss clear coat, but it is glossy. And so another thing people do is they will take oils. I want to say it's linseed oil that you take and you basically rub it on. It's like linseed or maybe teak oil. I can't remember which one it is. They might would all work. And you wipe it down with oil. Problem with that is oil, as you may know, attracts dirt. So if your car is just sitting in the yard with oil, it's going to have a sticky film to it, and so dirt's going to stick to that. So that one was obviously out. Natural. I wanted to look just like it was, but I didn't want my patina to get any worse. I didn't want the fade to get any worse. I didn't want the surface rust, the mild surface rust that's left on the hood. I didn't want that to get any worse, or on the roof. I started looking a couple of years ago when we first got Termite for something, and we came across Eastwood's Patina Preserver. And so this stuff is called to preserve patina for up to a year. Now, with Termite, it stays in the shop a lot. Like if it's going to be like a week of just straight rain in here, it just stays in the shop. If we're going to be a long time where I'm not going to be driving it much because we're going to be going and doing stuff, it just stays in the shop. So it's parked indoors, out of the weather, and it doesn't get washed once a week like your average vehicle may or may not get done. It gets washed every few months. So this past April, it's December now, this past April was a year that we had put this on, and I can still tell that there's some of this left on there. The water still beads up really good when we wash it, and it still has a little bit of a sheen. So they say it lasts up to a year, but I'm sure that's in outdoor situations where you're washing it and the weather. But if it stays indoors, again, I don't know how much is left on here, but it seems like there's still some left, and that's been well over a year. So this is what we put on the paint, and it's real simple. It's just an aerosol can. There are other companies that I've recently found that offer the same type product that come in like a white mat. You just pour it onto your rag and wipe it on. But I bought this. Eastwood had a sale going on a couple of years ago, and I just bought a bunch of these cans because I knew this was going to be something that we were just going to keep doing. So I like this stuff because you can just spray it, and if some gets onto your glass or onto your chrome, you just wipe it off. It's not a big deal. It's completely transparent, and when it's on there, you really can't tell that it's on there. It's really invisible and does a really good job on that front. So I like that. This really just kind of checked all the boxes, and I don't mind once a year, getting Termite out and putting it on because it's a really easy process. So this is what we're going to be doing today on the paint. And this is something new that I've been wanting to try, is a conditioner, a cleaner, and protectant for the vinyl. So this is made by Chemical Guys. This is a wrap detailer for vinyl wraps, clear bras, and paint protection film. So if you've got a wrap on your car, or if you have a Wagoneer that has the vinyl wood on the side and you want to keep it, I mean, this is patina, but I don't want it to get any worse. this is something, the stripes and the decals that I've always bought for old Mopars, we always get from Phoenix Graphics, and Phoenix Graphics sells a vinyl conditioner. And I've always wanted to try it, I've always wanted to use it, and then chemical guys come up with this, and that seems to be basically the same thing. You just spray it on, let it sit for a second, it says, and you wipe it off. The only thing I'm waiting to see is that it is a gloss enhancer, and I don't really want the vinyl looking super, super glossy. So we're gonna see today, this is gonna kind of be a test to see how this works. But if you have a vehicle with decals, whether it's old and you wanna maintain the patina, or if you have a new vehicle that's got decals on it, which, you know, because those are always popular, this may be something you wanna look into. So you're gonna get to see today how well this works, but it's a UV protectant. It's gonna help condition this to keep this hopefully looking like it looks. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna prep out Termite and get it ready. What I normally do is, it doesn't really give you a whole lot of instructions on here, but just like with any paint, it's all gonna be about the clean surface, good surface prep. So either you're gonna take a wax and grease remover, which I have, and you can wipe it down, and that's gonna take it off, but that also will remove what's left of this. So that may be what I do today, because I think that's gonna be the easiest option. Your second option would be to wash your vehicle, but when you do, make sure that you're washing it with something that has not got wax, you know, a lot of wash and wax type stuff. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would usually, if I'm gonna do something like this, what I did last time, or if I'm gonna paint a vehicle, I will wash it with like a detergent soap, because detergent soaps are made to clean off greases and oils. And so that will help clean it as well. But we just washed Termite the other day for the parade, so it's clean. So just for sake of time and not having to wait for it to dry, I may today just wipe it down with some wax and grease remover. I'll get Judah here to help me, and we'll get this thing wiped down, and we'll start spraying it with some patina preserver, and then we'll do the vinyl last. So
I never signed up for that.
You don't have to sign up for it. You're born into the family, so you're by default signed up for it. So so anyway, so we're gonna get to prepping this thing out and start spraying. All right, so Termite is all wiped down. The only thing I didn't really fool with much was the rockers, because they're gonna get replaced here pretty soon anyway. That's something on my list to do here within the next couple of months, is new rockers, because that's the only rust that we have left is down there on the rocker panel. So I'm not really worried about doing a whole lot on them. The back end, we're waiting for our tag to come in. That's when we're gonna have to tag them. But you guys never get to see the roof, but it's the perfectly patinaed roof to me. And I hate that it never gets seen. It's just got the perfect look to it. Everything is wiped down, including right here inside of your little lips. You wanna make sure you get all that little stuff. And body's all wiped. Took the blower and just blowed off any loose leaves and stuff like that, since we didn't really wash it, because like I said, I washed it the other day. So I think we're ready. I'm gonna go get a clean microfiber cloth to wipe off any overspray that I have. If you don't feel comfortable with a can and being able to spray accurate and clean, you can always tape it off. We did that last time. We taped off all the trim and then found out it was so easy to wipe off and so easy to do that we said, well, I'm never gonna tape it off again. That was just kind of a waste for us. But I do graffiti stuff on the side. I do a lot of graffiti work, so I'm fairly good with a spray can as far as keeping things clean and where I want it to go. I'm doing this outside also. It's an overcast day. It's probably 70, 71 out here, December in Mississippi. And so it's a perfect day to do this. Otherwise, if it was sunny and stuff, I would be doing it in the shop. You don't want to do this stuff in broad sun. You want to give that sealer time to really level out, and it does level out really good. Then they want you to give it about an hour before you consider driving. We'll give it an hour, and then we'll come back and we'll do the wood on the side. So, all right, so I'm gonna show you guys on the hood how it kind of goes. And I don't think, honestly, on like this wood and stuff, I don't think it would hurt a thing in the world to be on it. But as you can tell, it's challenging to do because you can't tell. I just kind of do like I do when I'm painting. I just kind of do a 50% overlap. I move fairly quickly. You can always come back and do because it lays out so good. It doesn't build up like spray paint. It's not like spraying spray paint. If you think that, it's not nearly as high building as spray paint is. But I just kind of go with the sheen, what I can see while it's wet. And if I see light spots, I just kind of come back and dust it. The hood is obviously, the hood and the roof are going to be what catches the most abuse. It really soaks in good. And it's done. And you literally cannot tell that it's done. Now I will say the first time we did it, I could tell it richened up the color a little bit. It didn't change much. It just made the blue, what was left of it, stand out a little bit more. And the wind's blowing now, so it's getting out. But I could tell then. And as I'm spraying, if it hits like this dead clear coat, you can tell a little bit. But then once it dries, you can't tell at all. So putting it on can be a little tricky from that aspect because you have to watch what you're doing. But again, long as you don't just let it build up to run, and you just kind of, I go by my sheen, where I can see that it's wet, and I just get a good light coat on it, not too light, not too heavy, and I just keep moving with it. And you can see we got overspray blowing, but again, you don't see any. I don't know. It's not a big deal. But like where this clear coat is dead and turning white, you can see when it soaks in, it kind of dulls that down. You don't see as much white. So that's kind of cool. It gives your what's left of your color under it, it gives it a little more life, makes it a little more blue show through on it. So you can see here kind of the white. You can see kind of the, hopefully I'm getting this. That's kind of that was one of the things that sold us big time on Termite was the patina. It was perfect. Preserver is on. Don't know if you can tell. I don't know how well any of it's showing up on camera, but there is a light sheen. Nice and even. It levels out real good. You can kind of see the sheen following through here. I'm sure if we had a little more blue left on the hood, you would see it. It always makes the tailgate look a lot better, as it's a pretty dry across here usually. And then the roof is nice and sealed as well. Again, I don't know if you guys can even tell, but I'm showing you. And I do wish I had my respirator. I would encourage you, don't do what I did today without wearing the respirator, because it is a fairly potent odor. My respirator, however, both of them are on a job that I'm doing. It's like 45 minutes away. So that's another reason why I'm outside. I would never do this inside the shop without a respirator on. But being outside, there is a breeze blowing, and I'm trying not to stand downwind. I'll just do what I got to do. But I would recommend you wear a respirator if you're going to do that stuff. But there are other companies that are selling this stuff that you wipe. You just pour it onto a rag and wipe it on. It says 5 to 10 minutes between coats. which we did that. Usually by the time you get to one end, you can just pretty much come back around and hit it again. Quantity for termite to spray everything not wood, 1 can. 1 can will do it. When I started, I got probably everything one coated and about half of it with not even a full can. So 1, 2 cans. If I were you, I'd buy 2. And the other day, Eastwood had this back on sale. I would get 2 cans if you got something about the size of termite. If you don't have the wood paneling, it's something bigger, you know, you want to do, get 2 or 3 cans. The other day it was on sale for like $9 a can or something like that, which isn't too bad. Because if you like it and you're going to do it next year, I put it up in a temperature control cabinet where it's not freezing, and it's good to go. Get it out the next year, shake it up, and keep going with it. So somewhere right in here, you should be able to see some reflection. Smells good. Smells like coconut. So, all right, I don't have to clean this towel. So I might have put too much on. Let's flip to the dry side. I literally can't tell anything. But I literally cannot tell where I've applied and where I hadn't. I'm not pressing down hard at all. Just kind of letting the cloth float. So when I do that, I can see it all on there. I'm gonna let that set for just a second. They don't say to, but I'm gonna let that kind of have a second to set on there. I would say success. I can't tell any difference as far as shine, and that's what I was worried about. Say that's a plus. If there's any more shine on it, I can't tell. There may be a little more, but it definitely doesn't look bad. But you can feel it's slick feeling. It's definitely, you can tell there's a, yeah, I can definitely tell the difference between this side and the other side. This side feels kind of dry and rough, and this side feels real smooth, like, you know, when you wax your car. So it's on there, and that's all it's supposed to do, is just give you a UV protection. So even if you've restored a Wagoneer, I would do this just to keep your vinyl looking good. So heck yeah, I'd say that's a win for the product to me. They don't say on there how often to reapply it. They can go on their website and find that information, but I would think after a couple of washes at least you may have to reapply. She is preserved for another year. We've got the tent off, so the tent's gonna stay off. The main reason we took it off was to be able to do this, to seal the roof. I can already tell. Some people have asked, could we tell a difference putting the tent on top? And I honestly, going from no tent to a tent, I couldn't tell a big difference. But I tell you this, since the tent has been off, there's a difference. We haven't got off the road or anything like that, but just on the road, the general handling, it's a lot different. So I'm looking forward to going to Arkansas without that weight on the top. We're gonna go up there and do some hiking, some trail riding, general type stuff that we would always do. We'll just be staying in a cabin instead of the tent. And I'm also looking forward to see how well it does without that wind resistance on top. So I think that's going to make a big difference in our highway speeds and stuff like that, not having that big old thing on top. So yeah, she's looking good. Little tire shine on it from the parade. Get a good look at it, because those of you who have been around the channel know she don't get washed very often, and she does get abused and used. So, but she's up for an oil change, so we're gonna be changing the oil probably this week, and she'll be ready to go. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you found something interesting in it. If you got an old vehicle and you're trying to preserve the patina, those are your options. There's a lot of stuff out there, man. It just really depends on what kind of look you're going for. This is what I like. You do what you like. And main thing is just take care of them, enjoy them. That's what they were made to do. And we'll see you guys next week. Move the sawhorses. You're gonna move them over here.
This. I'm gonna move the sawhorses back, but I'd really appreciate it. I would much prefer you be on this side.
The wood, the wood.
These things that are here. We're gonna
You're
look
gonna put them. You're gonna put.
What you gonna say? Super proud of myself for like muscles, right?
I guess.
No, not you guess.
We're actually going to be staying in a cabin that has been offered to us to be able to stay in. So we're going to take advantage of staying in a cabin. And I guess they're just now finding out about it.
Yeah, they just now are finding out about it.
So if you got an old vehicle, you know that sometimes stuff just does. And I just opened the door and like this trim just fell off. Keep it. So even if you've like, whoa,